Hey everybody, it's Blast338 with Mr. Faust coming at you live with talking D&D and Phasmophobia. So tonight we are talking about the spells of the Bard. So first off, thank you for joining us, Mr. Faust. It's always great to have you.
As always, it's a pleasure.
Okay, so what is... There we go. Okay, for some reason or another, we had a blank screen there. But all right, well, so bards. We talked about the class. We talked about the subclasses. We kind of went over some of the abilities, and you know, they're the fun guys that are really have a lot of utility. You know, they have the reputation to being the lovers because of their high charisma, but they could do a whole lot more than just that.
Oh, yeah.
So, as soon as I find my phone on my black... There we go. Turn the lights on. Maybe that'll help. All right. So, we have had our share of bards in the party.
We've had a lot of them, actually.
Some of them pretty memorable. I think everybody who's played them has had a lot of fun. And I'm fairly certain almost everybody in the group has played a bard at least once in one campaign or another.
I think you're absolutely right. It seems to be the class that a lot of people gravitate to at one time or another. But it makes sense. It's a class with a lot of utility, a lot of skill usefulness, and a lot of roleplay opportunities.
And they have a lot of really good spells, too. So I've been very excited for this.
And I'm really glad they did what they did in 5th edition with the Bard, because in 3rd edition and 3.5, the Bards were not full casters.
Oh,
they were
really?
half casters. Right.
I didn't know that.
So they actually improved them for 5th edition to make them full casters.
Okay, well that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
I mean, they have all the power words, stun, kill, all that kind of stuff.
They've got healing spells.
Yes, they can be a healer. They can be a really decent necromancer, too.
They can. They do have raised dead.
So, alrighty. Well, let's get into it and talk about some of the cantrips that they have available to them. I think what we need to do as well is we need to talk about some of their higher class abilities, because I don't think we went over that last time we talked about them. We kind of stopped at like 2nd or 3rd level and talked about the subclasses.
That's true. So what would you like to do?
Let's go over cantrips real quick.
Okay, we can do that.
So if you don't mind starting us off.
No, not at all. So the spell I want to talk about first is one that one of our party members took at one time. It worked out really well for them. I don't think you guys around. I think I was running like a one-shot.
Okay.
Just like a side quest type deal. You might have been on call.
Okay.
But to mention a name, Eland took this spell and used this spell.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
When she was playing a sorcerer, it's the Friends spell.
Oh, that is... It is a spell that I have been looking at, and I'll have to admit that I really haven't had the guts to take. And if you explain the spell, maybe people understand why.
Yeah, it does have some consequences. For the duration, and it's a concentration spell up to 1 minute.
Yes.
You have advantage on all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile towards you. So, intimidation, persuasion, spells like that. Great against shopkeepers that you want to haggle down.
Well, it has its disadvantages, but yeah, just
So when the spell ends, the creature realizes that you use magic to influence its mood and becomes hostile towards you. That doesn't mean that they'll attack you, but they will seek retribution in one way or another.
Well, I mean, I think it even says that if the creature's
prone to violence, it will attack you.
Yes. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. I mean, it is a good spell, like you said. But that whole, I mean, you could really... The uses for that spell, I think, are very limited. Unless you're doing a lot of moving around and you're not going to have a home base, and you're not going to be interacting with the same people over and over and over again, which most parties do.
Right. Now, I could see it working in a few scenarios that we've had in the past.
Okay.
For instance, when we played Curse of Strahd, you guys got to, I believe it was the town of Kresik, where the mongrel folk were being kept underground.
Yes.
And you had to deal with the racist mayor. A good intimidation check in that moment would have been incredibly helpful. Because he couldn't have come after you because the mongrel folk might escape.
Oh, okay.
So he was kind of stuck in a position to stay with his town, in which you guys could have easily left, as you did, and gotten so far away after you attacked them. So it would have solved unnecessary bloodshed if you rolled a high enough check. So small things like that, it could be useful. But again, that drawback can be a real rough one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great spell. I mean, they're friendly to you. You get benefits on the charisma check and all that kind of stuff. So not necessarily a terrible thing. But yeah, I don't know. I always thought the benefits of that spell outweigh, or I'm sorry, the downfall of that spell outweighs the benefits.
And it could. It's very situational, but I always like the flavor of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you use that with the first level spell Distort Value, and you could pretty much rob... Yeah, you could pretty much sell anything you want for any price to any shopkeeper because your persuasion's going to be high enough. And if you use this in a town that you're just passing through, it gives new meaning to the background charlatan.
Right. I didn't think of that. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. All right,
and then, of course, there's my favorite, which is Prestidigitation.
Yes, Prestidigitation is a beautiful spell. And I'm kind of missing not having it this time around. Although I do get another cantrip here very soon. Yeah, prestidigitation's great. You can that's the one where you can open doors, you can light little bonfires, stuff like that, right?
You can't open doors, so it has nothing to do. Like you can't do anything you could do with Mage Hand, but you can create a shower of sparks, a puff of wind, musical notes. You can snuff or light a candle, a campfire. You can clean objects.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a color, a marker, a symbol appear on an object or surface for 1 hour. So let's say your party's trailing behind you, you can mark different trees so they know how to follow you.
Right. And you can create three of these in effect at a time.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, yeah. Alrighty. Anything else as far as cantrips go?
Oh, that I enjoy?
Yeah.
I know you like this one. I really like this one. But Vicious Mockery.
Vicious Mockery is great. If you can get it off. The problem is it's a save or suck spell, so...
It is.
You know, if they need to make a saving throw, then... If they make the save... then nothing happens.
Then it won't do anything, no. But if they do fail the save, I mean, it's not much damage, it's 1d4 damage, but they have disadvantage on their next attack roll.
Okay.
Which, I mean, you're a first level character, that means everything in the world. Because your hit point pool is going to be small.
Right. Well, they also lay on the ground prone, correct?
No, that's Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Oh, is it? Okay. I always get those confused. Always getting those confused.
Those are the cantrips that stand out to me. They have other good cantrips, such as Mending, which is always helpful. Mage Hand.
Mage Hand is great.
Mage Hand is just...
We haven't used it to its full ability, but it is definitely a great spell.
I think if Arrow played a little more cleverly, they could have done a lot more with their Trickster Rogue Mage Hand.
Oh, yeah, totally. Agreed, 100%.
Because that just had so many uses, so much value in that subclass.
Oh, damn.
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm just getting hunted. I think I'm about to die.
Well, that's no good.
Nope, it ran off. It followed me up the stairs. Let's see here. There we go. So yeah, they have Blade Ward's good if you're doing College of Swords.
Yes.
Message is good. I mean, if you need to talk to somebody else without anybody else hearing it.
And you can cast it through solid objects.
Right. Yeah, as long as you're on the same plane.
But it can also cut through magical silence. So even in an area of magical silence,
Right.
that creature will hear it.
Exactly. So yeah, it's not a bad spell. I mean, again, everything has its uses. You know what I mean? It's not. You just got to find a way to use the spell. Let's see, my phone shut off again here. Instead of getting the books out, I'm just pulling up the list on the wiki. Alright, well, first level spells. This is where stuff gets really nice. One that kind of always stood out to me was Bane. And I've used this in the past as well, so it's one action to cast. It's a range of 30 feet. Concentration up to 1 minute. Up to 3 creatures of your choice you can see within range. Must make a charisma saving throw. Whether a target fails the saving throw or if the target can't read today, that you can see within range. Charisma saving throw. Whenever a target that fails the saving throw makes an attack roll, a saving throw before the spell ends, the target must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack or saving throw. When you cast the spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, you can target 1 additional creature for each level.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
No.
That is really handy when it comes to a lot of different things. And if you have a player, like we play a lot of barbarians, we play a lot of fighters, you know, we play a lot of people that have that high AC.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, to roll a d4, now it doesn't sound much because it's only 4 points. However, that can make a huge difference. If you have a 19 AC, you know, that 4 points can make all the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it can.
So I like Bane. That's a good spell, but it's a charisma save. That's one of the major problems with it.
I think another one I really enjoy, and you'd have to be a support bard for this, is Heroism.
Heroism, okay. Not really familiar with that spell.
I think you might love it after you hear it.
Okay.
I'll read the description because honestly, I couldn't sum this up any better. A willing creature you touch is imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, and it's a concentration spell up to 1 minute, so until it ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of its turns.
Okay.
When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or... Oh, this was this... No. Yeah, 2nd level or higher. You can target 1 additional creature for each slot above 1st level.
Oh.
So, essentially, for 1 minute, you're giving 1 or however many creatures regeneration every turn.
Okay, it's not a bad thing.
No.
How much are they getting?
Equal to your spellcasting ability modifier.
Oh, so up to 5 hit points.
Up to 5 hit points every round.
Well, that's enough to get somebody on their feet.
It is. I like that one as a support spell. I really enjoy it.
I could definitely see how that would be handy. Definitely see how that one would be handy. Might have to be something we look in. I look into.
It's not a bad one. I mean,
No.
it's just it's a little bit of healing, but it's enough.
Right. Now, does the creature need to be... can the creature be incapacitated or down and still benefit from this, or...
It doesn't say that you cannot, so yes.
Okay. So yeah, you cast that, the fighter goes down, the barbarian goes down, or somebody else that you've cast it on, and boom, they're back up. Now, when are they gaining these points? Is it
At the start of each of their turns.
Oh, the start of their turn. Okay, that's another factor that a lot of it's usually at the end of the turn. But no, that's great. So they're back up on their feet. They use half their movement to stand up. And there you go. They're back in the fight.
Yep.
Fantastic. And that is absolutely fantastic. Oh, come on, stop doing that. Drop my phone on my keyboard and start taking screenshots. Command is one we've used in the past as well. So,
it is.
And have used this to really great. So you speak a one-word command to a creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn. The spell has no effect if the target is undead, it doesn't understand your language, or if the command is directly harmful to it. Some typical commands and the effects follow. You must issue commands other than one described here. And it's, of course, if your DM has determined. So approach, the target moves towards you by the shortest and most direct route, ending its turn if it moves within 5 feet of you. Drop, the target drops whatever it's holding, then ends its turn. Flee, the target spends its turn moving away from you by the fastest means available. Grovel, the target is prone and ends its turn. Halt, the target doesn't move, takes no actions. Flying creatures stay aloft provided that it is able to do so. It must move to stay aloft. It flies the minimum distance needed to remain in the air. And at higher levels, you can affect one additional creature for each spell slot above the first.
Right.
So this, it's Give was one that I used in the past. It handed me its weapon. So yeah, it's been a really good spell. Again, it's a saving throw, but not that big a deal. And again, this is like first level stuff, so.
Yeah, but at first level, at second level, at third level, these spells could be devastating to the creatures you're fighting.
Oh yeah, totally. And see, the thing is too that one thing I like about it is the movement commands, like run or come here or come, that type of thing. It doesn't say it does not provoke an attack of opportunity.
Exactly.
And a lot of spells that invoke movement do not provoke an attack of opportunity. So that is absolutely awesome that allows you you know, come. And the creature starts to move, gets away from the barbarian. Well, guess what? Now they have an attack of opportunity. And hopefully they have the sentinel feat, which moves their, which makes their movement 0 if they hit.
Yep.
And there you go.
Exactly.
Fantastic spell, especially for a first level spell.
Welcome back.
Charm Person is always great. Comprehend languages. Cure wounds. We talked about healing spells. Disguise Self has always been popular with the group. So, let's see here. Others distort value that we talked about before. I know Arrow's been talking about this spell, Puppet.
I was just going to bring that one up.
It's a new spell. It's in the Unearthed Arcana. Jester forces one... Wait. Oh, your gesture forces one humanoid you can see within range to make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target must move up to its speed in a direction you choose. In addition, you can cause the target to drop whatever it's holding. The spell has no effect on a humanoid that is immune to being charmed. So,
right.
Yeah, you're taking somebody out of combat.
It's exactly what you're doing.
All right. I slept all day. You'd think I wouldn't be tired.
That always makes me sleepy. If I nap, I'm done for the rest of the day.
And then we have one of our favorite spells, Silvery
Don't do
Barbs.
it.
Silvery Barbs.
Yay. You did it.
This is a spell that is absolutely awesome. Whenever a creature is successful on a... I'm just going to read the spell description. You magically distract the triggering creature, and it is momentarily uncertainty into encouragement for another creature. The triggering creature must re-roll the d20 and use the lower roll. You can then choose a different creature you can see within range, and you can choose yourself. The chosen creature has advantage on the next attack roll or ability check or saving throw it makes within 1 minute. The creature can be empowered by this spell one at a time. So, okay, so it is a reaction. A creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself succeeds on an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. It's really nice for getting rid of criticals. And I can understand why you don't like it. But not only...
And as a DM, because I don't have to do this, but as a DM, I do announce to you guys when I crit.
Right.
I could elect just to say, okay, I hit you 3 times. What would you like to do?
Right.
But, I mean, to me, that's part of the fun of the spell. Because I don't always like critting on you guys. The monsters I put you up against do high damage because you have high hit points.
Right. Yeah, we always go for max hit points. Mainly because we've said it once, we've said it twice, and I'll say it 1,000 times. Healing in 5e is an absolute joke. It really is. There is no point to healing in 5e outside of a long or short rest.
Right.
There just really isn't. The only time that you would really do any type of healing is to bring somebody back up onto their feet during combat. And even that is kind of is almost a double-edged sword. You know, especially when you start getting up into the higher levels. You know, you start having a higher level wizard who now has 4th or 5th level spells. I can dish out almost as much damage as that barbarian.
Right.
So, or you start getting into things like the much higher level where you have spells like harm or harm's what, 70 hit points, like boom, automatically.
70 plus 5d8.
Yeah. So our barbarian's laying on the ground, mangled to pieces. He only has 2 attacks. You know, he's using a great axe. Okay, so it's a d12 plus a strength modifier. You know, alright, so 12 and 12 is 24 plus 10 because he gets a strength modifier in there. So that's 34 hit points. And even if he criticals both attacks, that's what, 68 points of damage? And that's a pretty big if. While I can do 70 hit points plus, you know, a bunch of d8 with a spell. It doesn't make much sense to me to waste that spell slot or waste that action trying to get him back on his feet when I could take out the big bad myself.
Exactly.
But again, you know, that's kind of if the big bad is wavering. I don't know. I think you do a pretty good job with us saying, okay, well, he's not looking so hot. But who knows? Maybe the barbarian's the only one that has a weapon that can do any damage to this creature. You know, it depends on the party itself. But then again, who's the bigger threat? You know, the squishy wizard or the big bad barbarian? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something we also have to weigh into things. So, if I bring the barbarian up, he could be our meat shield, which is what he's supposed to be.
Exactly. D12 hit dice, unarmored defense, rage, which is resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and stabbing. So yeah, he's the meat shield.
Alrighty. Let's see here. What other spells? You know, with that silvery barb's giving another creature advantage on the attack or the saving throw or ability check. You know, is really great. Unseen Servant is a very underused spell as well.
I agree.
Thunder Wave is great. Oh, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Target falls prone. You know, target falls prone, and if something's prone and you have somebody that's a melee fighter beating on them, guess what? They have advantage.
I also like Earth Tremor.
Earth Tremor's nice.
10-foot radius. Everyone except you knocked prone.
Well,
I mean, it's a save or suck spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a save or suck. It's a dexterity saving throw, but I mean, if you're surrounded, just the opportunity to knock everyone on their ass
Right.
is outstanding. And then the ground becomes difficult terrain.
Yeah, I was about to say that creates difficult terrain, so...
There are a lot of good first level spells.
Yeah, there really are. There really are. Are you here? Are you friendly? How old are you? Where are you? Are you here?
An elderly victim.
Uh-oh. This thing keeps turning off the stinking lights. Oh, we got freezing. Alright, well, I think we talked about the first level spells. Let's go ahead and talk about second level.
We can do that.
What's going to start us off with second level spells?
Go with Crown of Madness.
Ooh, wonderful spell. I forgot that was the second level.
So essentially, you take control, complete control of a target, and this twisted crown of jagged iron appears over its head. And the target has to use its action before moving on each of its turns to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself. And you mentally choose for it to do that.
Yes.
There was one instance where we were playing a Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign. And there was a band of Harengan, we'll call them bandits.
Yeah, they're bunny people.
Right, and they were being led by someone whose magic scarf gave him a speed of 80. And that's exactly the one, I think it was you.
Yep.
Has Crown of Madness on.
Oh, yeah.
And single-handedly with this NPC, you slaughtered every one of his friends.
Yep.
This is an outstanding spell. It is a great control spell. I did roll a morale check when all of this was happening because it was just pure brutality.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the leader of your gang, tribe, whatever you want to call them, is just absolutely slaughtering everybody. And they're trying to get away, and I'm like, nope. Go get them.
Yep. Bloodbath. Yeah, this is a truly outstanding second level spell.
Yeah, no, it is a very good spell. There is a saving throw to that, though, isn't there?
Yes, a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So yeah, they fail the saving throw and they're under your control. That's just all there is to it.
Yep.
And that's a full minute, correct?
That's a full minute.
Yeah, that's 10 rounds. That's a lot of time.
Being that most combats end between 3 and 5, yeah, that's a long time.
a very, very long time. Alright, so we talked about Crown of Thorns. What are some other really good spells that are available to our bard?
You know, I hate to say this. I really hate to say it, but the knock spell.
I didn't know they had knock. Okay.
It can single-handedly get you through a dungeon.
It's very handy to have. It very much is. I love how you've pretty much banned it from your campaigns, and then the first time you actually play a character, you end up taking it. Not only taking it, but you use it.
Oh, the irony wasn't lost on me.
I think everybody at the table kind of went, "Wait, what?" But no, that's fine, and it's not like you didn't use it to like bypass anything. You know what I mean? You got us out of a whatchamacallit.
I did it to save the party.
Yeah, jail cell.
Yeah, because there were going to be more executions.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there would have been. I'm sure there would have been. That was it's still a deadly campaign.
Billy and I knew when we designed it, it was going to be a high-stakes campaign.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Not every once in a while. I don't want all of my campaigns to be like that. Like Spelljammer, for instance, should be fun.
I've got some jobs ready for you.
Right.
You should be able to do things in Spelljammer that you can't normally do, like leap from one ship to another, transport bombs, just really creative, insane things. I don't even see Curse of Strahd as a high-stakes campaign because it's more story-driven. But this one is brutal. It's essentially a gauntlet of stories and bosses.
Yes, very much so. Alrighty. I was looking at some of the spells here. One that kind of caught my eye was Aid. And after kind of reading it, I was like, wait a second, this really isn't that great of a spell. For 8 hours, you bolster your allies with toughness and resolve. Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target hit point maximum and current hit point is increased by 5 for the duration.
Oh, heroism already beats this.
Well, here's the thing that's kind of interesting, though. When you cast the spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, the target hit points increase by additional 5 for each slot above 2nd. I mean, you could, theoretically speaking, cast this as a much higher level spell, and then it would
do essentially
do something.
Yeah,
but
you would cap out at 40 hit points, I think.
It's not that
for
great.
a 9th level spell slot. No, it really isn't.
For a second, I mean, as a 1st level spell, I could kind of see that. You know, 5 hit points at 1st level, that's a pretty decent amount of healing.
It is, but again, you have heroism at 1st level.
Okay.
You can cast it one more time. You give X number of people regeneration.
That's true.
They'll bring themselves back up every round they're down. It just doesn't make sense to me that this is a spell at all.
Well, Aid, I believe, is out of the player's handbook.
It is.
Is heroism out of the player's handbook?
It is.
Really? Okay, so I was thinking like, okay, maybe, you know, heroism came in like Tasha's or Xanthar's or something. Because I've noticed that in the past where, you know, they came out with a spell that was, you know, pretty good in the player's handbook, but they kind of perfected it in one of the other branches. So I'm
Right.
kind of surprised.
Yeah, you do see a lot of that. Yeah, both spells come from the same era.
Huh. That's weird.
In my opinion, that should probably be reversed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's very curious. Very curious. Oh well, like I said, it was one of those that like kind of caught my eye, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I've ever really talked about or read about this spell. Let's see what it does, and I'm like, very underwhelmed. Alright, so we talked about aid, we talked about... What is next here? There's
Well, you have your baseline. Almost everybody picks some spells like Hold Person, Invisibility.
well, those aren't second level spells. Those are... What, are you going to third level now?
Oh, those are second level spells.
Those are second level.
Hold Person and Invisibility are second level.
Huh. I had no idea.
Yeah, I thought Hold Person was higher too, but I was glancing over the list and was kind of surprised.
Huh. Okay. Alright, that's not a bad thing. Hold Person's great. You know, you can just beat the tar out of somebody as long as they maintain that, as long as you maintain that concentration and whatchamacallit, maintain the concentration and you don't take any hits, and they keep failing to save. We've already talked about heat metal. That was one of the ones the whatchamacallit, the artificer has. Oh, enlarge reduce. That is a very good spell.
I was waiting for you to get to that one.
You're causing a creature to grow or shrink one size. So a large creature becomes huge, medium creature becomes large, or a medium creature becomes small, a huge creature becomes large, or large becomes medium. And we have actually used this with... We had a little pooper actually played a Path of the Giants barbarian. And one of the things they get to do is grow one and then later on 2 sizes bigger. So he's a medium creature. He then becomes large and then eventually becomes huge. Well, we cast this on him to make him go from huge to, what is it, gargantuan? And that was a lot of fun. That was during our Spelljammer campaign. Yeah, that could be great.
So-
Now, you're also dealing when you're using this. I believe also. Let me double check here real quick. Enlarge, reduce. Enlarge your target. Oh, it doubles size in all dimensions, and weight is multiplied by 8. The growth increases its size by 1 category. Okay. Advantage on strength checks, saving throws. The weapon also grows to match the new size, and it deals an additional 1d4 extra damage. So not a bad thing.
Not at all.
Not a bad thing at all.
This is also the level that they get lesser restoration.
Mm-hmm. Lesser restoration's great. Very handy spell. Let's see here. Yeah, large reduce is great. Lesser restoration is always a handy spell. Highly recommended if you're able to take it. Blindness deafness is a spell that's not used all that often.
Yeah, that's true.
That could be really handy. You've given blindness to a creature. They have disadvantage on attack rolls. I think it's dexterity saves.
Mm-hmm.
Or, versus spell effects, stuff like that. There's a huge thing. Deafness, of course, can be handy if you're trying to sneak. Yeah, definitely some handy spells. Let's see here. Detect thoughts. Basically reading people's minds. Talked about invisibility. Locate object can be pretty handy. Let's see here. Magic mouth. You're leaving a. I always think of Magic Mouth as the movie Labyrinth, when they have the stone heads. Go away, turn around now, that type of stuff. You're leaving a very short message, and whatever you leave it on just repeats the message when everybody gets close or says the trigger word or does the trigger action. That could be teamed up with what is it? Why can't I think right now? That could be teamed up with, what is it? The one where you put a spell in like a book or something. You know what I'm talking about.
Where you put a spell in a book?
Yeah.
And it's a spell?
Yeah. It Dang it, why can't I think of the name? You know, you can put it in a book, you can I can't think right now. Why can't I think?
Is it one of the ward spells?
I think so, yeah.
Like warding glyph?
Yes, warding glyph. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. So you
I don't know how the hell I thought of it.
You can use this in conjunction with warding glyph. Are you here? Are you friendly? How old are you? Where are you? Are you here? Are you friendly? How old are you? Where
Yeah,
are
it's
you?
pretty cool.
Are you
And
here?
while we're
Are
on
you
the subject
friendly?
of blindness,
How old are you? Where are you? Are you here?
I'd like to talk
Are you
about one
friendly?
more spell of second
How
level.
old are you? Where are you? Are you here? Are you friendly? Alright, what's that?
Spray of cards.
Spray of cards. I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
It is recent Unearthed Arcana.
Okay.
So it takes an action. You need a deck of cards to cast it, but we usually ignore material components.
Right.
You spray a 15-foot cone of spectral cards. Each creature in that area must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d10 force damage and has the blinded condition until the end of its next turn.
Ooh.
Not bad. Decent damage and blindness.
Right. Not bad at all.
Mm-mm. I don't know. There might not be too many more second level spells to really talk about.
Okay. Let's see here. Anything? Let's see here. Silence was a good one.
Silence is a good one.
Yep, just creating a 20-foot bubble of silence. Shatter. Shatter does a pretty good amount of damage.
Especially to objects.
Yep. Phantasmal Force. You craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of a creature that you can see within range. The target must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, you create a phantasmal object, creature or other visible phenomenon of your choice that is no larger than a 10-foot cube and is perceived only to the target for the duration. The spell has no effect on undead or constructs. The phantasm includes sound, temperature, and other stimuli, also evident to only the creature. The target can use its action to examine the phantasm with an intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC. If the check succeeds, the target realizes the phantasm is an illusion, and the spell ends. While the target is affected by the spell, the target treats the phantasm as if it's real. The target rationalizes any logical outcome for interacting with the phantasm. For example, a target attempting to walk across a phantasmal bridge that spans a chasm. Once it steps onto the bridge, if the target survives the fall, it still believes that the bridge exists and comes up with some other explanation for its fall. It was pushed, or it slipped, or a strong wind may have knocked it off. An affected target is so convinced of the phantasm's reality, it can even take damage from the illusion. A phantasm created to appear as a creature can attack the target. Similarly, a phantasm created to appear as fire, pool of acid, or lava can burn the target. Each round on your turn, the phantasm can deal 1d6 physical damage to the target if its phantasm's area is within 5 feet of the phantom. Provided the illusion of the creature or hazards that could logically deal damage such by attacking, the target perceives the damage as a type appropriate to the illusion. They're fighting their own mind, which is crazy.
It's just really, really cool.
Yeah, it's a really nice spell.
Ooh, have you seen Nether's Mischief?
No.
It's in Fizban's Treasury of the Dragons, which is a pretty good book.
Okay.
But check this out. It's kind of cool. You fill a 20-foot cube you can see within range with Fey and Draconic magic.
All right.
Roll on the Mischievous Surge table to determine the magical effect produced, and roll again at the start of each of your turns until the spell ends. It's a concentration up to 1 minute.
Okay.
You can move the cube up to 10 feet before you roll, so already a 20-foot cube is a huge area.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the effects. Number 1. The smell of apple pie fills the air, and each creature in the cube must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you until the start of your next turn.
Oh.
Number 2. Bouquets of flowers appear all around, and each creature in the cube must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be blinded until the start of your next turn, as the flowers spray pollen.
Interesting.
Number 3. Each creature in the cube must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or begin giggling until the start of your next turn. A giggling creature is incapacitated and uses all its movement to move in a random direction. And number 4. Drops of molasses appear and hover in the cube, turning into difficult terrain until the start of your next turn.
Okay.
And every round, you re-roll to get a new effect.
Huh. Well, that's an interesting spell.
It is, isn't it?
That definitely sounds like a lot of fun.
It's definitely a Fey-like spell.
Agreed. Agreed.
Just because it doesn't hurt you, it just finds ways to incapacitate you.
Right. Alrighty, well, let's head into third level spells now. We have a lot of time, so we don't really need to rush through a lot of stuff.
No, not at all.
I'm gonna be right back. I just need to take like a 30-second break.
Alright, go for it.
Welcome back. I've prepared some jobs for you.
That's really good. Swap Blast is gone. I'll jump right into this. Before I go too far, I'm just going to mention a few off the top of my head that are outstanding third level spells. You have Mass Healing Word for when a handful of the party is down at the same time. You have Speak with Dead. Speak with Dead is an awesome spell that Blast really enjoys using. Basically, if you find a corpse of a creature or you kill a creature and you'd like information, You can ask that corpse up to 5 questions. Now, it only knows what it knew in life, and it only has the same language as it knew. But it will, in weird, brief, cryptic phrases, answer your questions. Now, if it recognizes you as an enemy, it's under no compulsion to give you the truth.
That is
But
very
if you're
key.
dealing with someone who's been murdered, for instance, they'd probably remember their murderer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we just used that the other night.
Yes, you did.
Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
Yeah, it's an outstanding spell.
There's a 3rd level spell that I really like, and I've only ever used it, I believe, once. It's
Okay.
Antagonize. It has a range of 30 feet. It's a single action. You whisper magical words that antagonize one creature of your choice within range. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 4d4 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction to make a melee attack against another creature of your choice that you can see. If the target can't make this attack, for example because there's no one within reach or because its reaction is unavailable, the target instead has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage only. When you cast the spell using a slot of 4th level or higher, the damage increases by 1d4 for each slot above 3rd. This is great if you have, and that's exactly what we used it for. There was 2 bad guys standing next to each other, and that's what we did. I cast Antagonize, and immediately, he failed the wisdom saving throw and had to attack the guy next to him. Now the guy next to him is like, yo man, what the heck? Like, I thought we were on the same team here.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a very nice spell. Now, of course, it's a save or suck spell, so use it wisely. But yeah, we used it to great avail, and it did what it's supposed to do. It was just fun that he had a bad guy standing next to him that he was able to wallop. So I like that spell. It's not one that's been taken very often, but pretty good success with it when we have used it. Let's see here. You're absolutely right about Talk with Dead. Glyph of Warding is a 3rd level spell as well. Fear. Fear is a very good spell. It's nice if you want to, and I've tried to use it for the same purpose, where I don't want to. We had a town guard that came after the party. Now, us being good characters, we don't want to hurt the town guard.
Mostly good characters.
Well, we haven't really hurt any NPCs for the most part. It's always been other party members.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate. Okay, go ahead.
But anyways, we didn't want to hurt the town guard. So when they challenged us to a fight, instead of doing damage to them, I tried to use fear and scare them off rather than attack.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, overall, I mean, it's a really good spell. You know, fear. You know, the creature runs from you.
Sometimes provoking attacks of opportunity.
Yep. Yes, I mean it's can be fear can be a very good thing. Alrighty.
I kind of like the spell Fast Friends.
Okay, talk to me about that one.
Fast Friends is kind of cool. When you cast a spell, you choose one humanoid within range that can see and hear you and can actually understand you.
Okay.
It has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for the duration. This is where the charm's a little different.
Okay.
While the creature is charmed this way, it undertakes to perform any services or activities you ask of it in a friendly manner to the best of its ability.
Okay.
You can set the creature new tasks when a previous task is completed, or if you decide to end its current task. If the service or activity might cause harm to the creature, or if it conflicts with the creature's normal activities and desires, it can make another wisdom save.
Huh. So basically,
You could charm someone to act as an assassin.
Right, I was just about to say you're kind of enslaving somebody to your will then.
Yes, 100%.
Interesting. And how long is this for?
1 hour.
1 hour. Do you get any additional casting time if you cast at higher levels?
Actually, no, but you can target one additional creature.
Oh. Well, that's
which means
something.
you could have a small group of enslaved bandits at your service for an hour.
Right. That's a little crazy.
You could use them to cross rooms with deadly traps.
Very much so.
I like the flavor of it.
Yeah, no, that seems like a very nice spell. I can definitely see uses for that. Definitely see uses for that. Alright. Let's see here. What is another decent spell here? Third level. Of course you have...
Liamon's Tiny Hut.
There you go. I was just about to say it. You beat me to it. Guys get a place to sleep for the night. It's a warm place. It's easy. You know, nothing can disturb you. There's no way to get in unless you have permission. So it is a safe place to take a rest. Intellect Fortress. This is one I've never used, but I do like it. For the duration, you have one willing creature you can see within range has resistance to psychic damage as well has advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. When you cast a spell using a 4th slot or higher, you target one additional creature. This is nice if you're doing a performance. Like, you have to impress somebody by putting on a play or a show or something. You can cast this on the group, and now they're getting advantages on their well, those of us that don't have performance are now getting advantage on their charisma throws. Hypnotic Pattern is a very nice spell. You create a twisting pattern of colors, weaves through the air inside a 30-foot cube within range. The pattern appears for a moment and vanishes. Each creature within the area who sees the pattern must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature becomes charmed for the duration. While charmed this spell, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0. If the spell ends for an affected creature if it takes any damage or if someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its stupor. Very nice way to take multiple enemies out of a fight and wean them off one at a time.
You know, if played correctly, the Bard isn't actually a support role at all. It's more of a control.
Okay.
Because most of its spells have to do with controlling other creatures, to inhibiting them 100%. They get suggestion, they get enthrall, they get charm person, they get fast friends, they get all these spells that influence charms and control elements. I feel like you could make a whole build centered around that alone.
Right. Are you here? Are you friendly? How old are you? Where are you? Are you here? Are you friendly? How old are you? Where are you? Are you here? Are you friendly? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. Are you here? Are you friendly? How old are you? Where are you? Are you here? Are you friendly? How old are you? Where are you?
Let's see. Third level.
Yeah, they don't have access to like the classics like Fireball, or things like that nature, which is a shame.
It is a shame, but they do have the college that allows them to take spells from different classes.
That's true. So they can get a hold of it. Nothing like a surprise hunt.
Not a bad thing.
Let's see here. Non-detection is always good. Slow has been one I've been using a lot with my wizard.
Slow is an awesome spell.
They take a -2 penalty. So when somebody is affected by the spell, they have to make a wisdom saving throw. And it's up to 6 creatures, too, which is kind of cool.
In a 40-foot cube, it's massive.
They have a -2 to their AC. They could only use an action or a reaction. They can't do both. Yeah, it's very good spell. If they try to cast the spell, they have to roll a d20. On 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn, and it must use its action on that turn to complete the spell. If it can't, the spell is wasted. Now, it can make the wisdom save at the end of each of its turns, but even still, like, very good spell. Quite enjoy it. Let's see. Anything else you like out of this list?
I think we've gone over most of the ones that really stand out.
Okay. Alright, let's take a look at 4th level spells then.
Sounds good to me. So, there's another spell from Fizban's Treasury of Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Ralathim's Psychic Lance.
Okay.
So, I'll just read it. It's not something I knew about until about 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool. You unleash a shimmering lance of psychic power from your forehead at a creature you can see within range. That range is 120 feet.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can utter a creature's name. If the named target is within range, it becomes the spell's target even if you can't see it. The target must make an intelligence saving throw. I like this already because intelligence saving throws are so rare.
Right.
On a failed save, the target takes 7d6 psychic damage and is incapacitated until the start of your next turn.
Okay.
On a save, obviously it takes half as much damage and isn't incapacitated. But 7d6 damage isn't anything to sneeze at.
Right.
And to do that and incapacitate a creature, I mean, getting this spell off would be huge for the party, because an incapacitated boss creature, even for a round, is huge.
Right.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
Alright. 4th level here. Polymorph.
Oh, you guys have screwed me so many times with this spell.
Polymorph is a great spell. You're basically turning somebody into a creature. Yeah, it is a creature you can see within range. Make a wisdom save. Lasts for, 1 hour. The target's game statistics, including mental ability scores, are replaced by the statistics of the chosen beast. Its alignment and retains its alignment and personality. The target assumes its hit points in its new forms. When it reverts its normal form, the creature returns to the number of hit points it had before it transformed. If it reverts as a result of dropping to 0 hit points, any excess damage carries over to a normal form. As long as the excess damage does not reduce the creature's normal form to 0 hit points, it is knocked unconscious. The creature is limited to the actions it can perform by the nature of its new form. Can't speak, cast spells, or take any other action that requires hand or speech. The target's gear melds into the new form. The creature can't activate or use or wield or otherwise benefit from any of its equipment. The spell can't affect a target that has 0 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
So. Very nice spell. Want to turn somebody into a worm? Go right ahead. There's not a lot here to pick from, which is unfortunate.
Ego Whip is a pretty cool one.
Ooh, okay.
Do you know about this spell at all?
No, please.
Okay. It's a concentration spell, up to 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
So, you lash the mind of one creature you can see within range, filling it with despair. The target must succeed on an intelligence saving throw, or suffer disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws, and it cannot cast spells. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make another intelligence saving throw.
Wow.
Can't cast spells.
That is crazy. Now it is an intelligence save.
It's an intelligence save.
Let's see here.
I'm not too impressed with their 4th level spells.
No, I mean, you get Charm Monster, which is not a bad spell.
No, not at all.
Compulsion, very good spell. We've talked about that in the past. Confusion's not bad. Dimension Door can be used in a lot of good ways. This is greater invisibility now, so you can cast spells, you can attack, that type of stuff while you're invisible. Locate Creature. So, I mean, they do have some good spells, it's just there's not a lot of them.
No.
Psychic Lance. That's one I think we've used in the past. You unleash a shimmering lance of psychic power. Oh, you already talked about that one. All right, never mind. Derp. But yeah, a limited list to pick from, but some good spells. And again, a lot of this also depends upon your campaign. You know, what you're playing. So what we're saying is a great spell might not necessarily fit into your campaign. Now, 5th level here, they have some really good ones. I love Animate Objects.
I like Synaptic Static.
Okay.
No, you do yours first.
So Animate Objects, you can command up to 10 non-magical objects, or choose up to 10 non-magical objects within range that are not being worn or carried. Medium targets count as 2 objects, large targets count as 4, and huge targets count as 8. You can't animate any object larger than huge. Each target animates and becomes a creature under your control until the spell ends or is reduced to 0 hit points. And it's concentration for 1 minute.
You know what this has always reminded me of?
Beauty and the Beast?
Disney's Fantasia.
Oh, okay.
Where Mickey's in the basement with the brooms and the mops and the pots and the pans.
Yes, actually, that's pretty much exactly what this spell is.
Yep.
Now the cool thing is, these actually can these things that you're creating can attack. A tiny object has 20 hit points, has an AC of 18, which is not bad. It has a plus
18?
Yeah, it has a +8 to hit and does 1d4 plus 4 damage.
And that's a tiny one?
That's a tiny object. So if you
Wow.
think, I'm thinking like a mug, or I mean, you could even use like a rock or a pebble. Um, a small
A
creature
window air
has.
conditioner?
Well, that would be. I think that would be more like towards like small or medium.
Ah, shit, it might be small. Anyway,
I mean, you're talking. I mean, tiny objects. You know,
like a candlestick.
exactly that type of stuff. Small has 25 hit points, an AC of
Mm-hmm.
16, a +6 to hit, but it's a D8 +2. Medium creatures have
Okay.
40 hit points, a 13 AC, +5 to hit, and 2d6 +1. Large creature or large objects are 50 hit points, a 10 AC, +6 to hit, +2d10 +2. And a huge is 80 hit points, an AC of 10, it's a +8 to hit, and it's 2d12 +4 damage.
Okay, I see what they did here.
Something in huge would be like a tree.
Right. If you need a meat shield that has a hard time hitting but can take damage, you summon the tree.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want little snipers to constantly dish out damage with their D8, then you summon your little marbles.
Alright, so an animated object is a construct with an AC, hit points, and attacks, strength and dexterity determined by its size. Its constitution is 10, and its intelligence and wisdom are 3, and the charisma is a 1. Its speed is 30 feet. If the object lacks legs or other appendages it can use for locomotion, instead it has a flying speed of 30 feet and can hover. If the object is securely attached to the surface or larger objects, such as a chain bolted to a wall, its speed is 0 and has blind sight within a radius of 30 feet and is blind beyond that distance. When the animated object
Wow.
drops to 0 hit points, it reverts to its original object form, and any remaining damage carries over to its original object form. If you command an object to attack, it can make a single melee attack against a creature within 5 feet of it. It makes a slam attack with an attack bonus and bludgeoning damage determined by its size. Or if you say, I'm thinking of like a short sword, animate that, non-magical sword. Now all of a sudden it's going to be doing slashing damage.
Right.
When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 6th level or higher, you can animate 2 additional objects for each slot above 5th. Alright, so let's see here. We can do 10 non-magical objects. So you can have 10 tiny objects at 6th level. For each level above 5th, you get additional 2. So you get 20 items at level 10. So that make 8 items? So 18 tiny items at level 9 with a 9th level spell slot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. All doing.
Wow.
It's 1d4 plus 4
1d4.
damage. But with an
Yeah,
AC
but when you
of
have
18.
10 of them,
18 of them. If you cast this at 9th level. But why would you? Really? There's so many other spells that would be great to upcast. Yeah, 10 of them right off the beginning. That's a single spell slot.
Right.
You're concentrating for 1 minute. You're doing 10d4 plus 40 hit points?
Yeah.
If all of them hit.
If all of them hit.
And with a +8 to hit.
Exactly.
That's pretty good. That's better than some player characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're just your little snipers.
I like that. That is a great little spell.
It's pretty cool.
Let's see here. Oh, wow. They have Awaken.
Why don't you tell me about it?
So, Awaken. It's a 5th level spell, obviously. It takes 8 hours to cast, and you must be in touch with the object for the entire time. The duration is instantaneous. So, after spending the casting time tracing non-magical pathways with a precious gemstone, you touch a huge or smaller beast or plant. The target must have either no intelligence score or an intelligence of 3 or less. The target gains an intelligence of 10. The target also gains the ability to speak one language you know. If the target is a plant, it gains the ability to move its limbs, roots, vines, creepers, and so forth, and gains a sense similar to humans. It gains a form similar to humans. Oh, gains senses. I'm sorry. I'm mixing sentences up here. Similar to humans.
No, it's all good.
Your DM chooses statistics appropriate for the awakened plant, such as statistics for awakened shrub or the awakened tree. The awakened beast or plant is charmed by you for 30 days, or until you and your companions do anything harmful to it. When the charm condition ends, the awakened creature chooses whether it remains friendly to you based on how you treated it while charmed. So, yeah, you can use this. I mean, awakening forest creatures. You can create your own treant. That type of stuff.
Yeah, you could.
Now, be friendly to it, or, or it could just be like, you know what? You guys are pretty screwed up. I'm taking off. I mean, you're creating life at that point. That could be fun. That could be fun. That could be a fun spell to mess with. Like, you think you're just giving this object like random intelligence and stuff, but what you're really doing is you're putting the soul of another creature that just recently passed away into it.
Mm-hmm. There are some great roleplay opportunities there.
Definitely, 100%.
So we have synaptic static. Have you heard of this spell, Mac?
I've heard of it.
I mean, blast. Sorry.
Don't know anything about it.
Okay. It's got a range of 120 feet.
Okay.
You choose a point within range and cause psychic energy to explode there. Each creature in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make an intelligence saving throw. A creature with an intelligence score of 2 or lower can't be affected by this spell. The targets take 8d6 psychic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
Mm-hmm.
After a failed save, the target has muddled thoughts for 1 minute. During that time, it rolls a d6 and subtracts the number rolled from all its attack rolls, ability checks, and constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. The target can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success.
Okay.
I like the negative to your constitution saving throws to maintain concentration.
Mm-hmm. Maintaining concentration is very important with a lot of spells, especially conjuring spells. You definitely don't want to be in the middle of a haste spell and lose your concentration.
Oh, God, no.
That would not be a good thing. You've definitely found out the consequences of that. But that would be a great spell to get to take against the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they definitely excel at control, that is for certain.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Most of their effects are control effects. I mean, they can support to some extent, but they're much more useful as a controller.
Mm-hmm. 5th level, they're also getting Hold Monster.
Yes.
They're getting...
Dominate Person.
Ooh, that's a good one. You've used that against us more than once.
I loved using it with the Paladin. With Mr. L's Paladin, I wanted to play a Paladin for so long. And I got to fully utilize all of its abilities.
It was, I mean, Paladins are the hardest hitting class in the entire game. That's just all there is to it.
They truly are.
They are fantastic damage dealers, and they can heal, which makes them a double threat. You know, that
also, they give the entire lay on hands.
Lay on hands is nothing to joke with. It's an awful lot of healing that they have available to them, like pretty much instantaneously.
And the bonus on saving throws equal to their charisma modifier.
Right. To anybody within 30 feet.
Yep.
So, yeah, they definitely are high up on my list as well.
Ooh, they gain Raise Dead.
Yes. Yes, they have Raise Dead. Very good spell. Very, very good spell. That's the one where they get ghouls, right?
Raise Dead? No,
Yeah.
it's a necromancy spell.
Mm-hmm.
But it brings the target back to life.
Yes, that's right. It's like a cheap resurrection, but they only can be dead for like so long, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost like a Revivify, but I think it's 10 minutes instead of 1, right?
Oh no, it's instantaneous. Oh no, it's
how long they can be dead for?
Oh, 10 days.
Oh, 10 days, okay.
So it's not bad.
No, not at all. But still, that's a good amount of time. I mean, especially if you have somebody, you know, in the group that has, oh, well, what's the name of that spell where you can preserve the body, basically?
Oh, spare, no. Oh, I know it. I just can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
That's fine. No big deal. Oh, I know I'm going to think about it later. Be laying in bed tonight and it's going to be like, oh yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Oh boy. Alrighty. Let's see here. Let's see here. Hold monster, greater restoration. Modify memory. This is a spell that I really kind of want to start using more.
Okay.
Because I think it could be a lot of fun. I think it could be a lot of fun.
How so?
Well, modify memory. You attempt to reshape another creature's memories. One creature you can see must make a wisdom saving throw. If you're fighting the creature, it has advantage on the saving throw. On a failed save, the target becomes charmed by you for the duration. The charmed target is incapacitated and unaware of its surroundings. Though it can still hear you, it takes any damage or is targeted by another spell. The spell ends, and none of the creature's memories are modified. While this charm lasts, you affect the target's memory in an event that it experienced within the last 24 hours that has lasted no more than 10 minutes. You can permanently eliminate all memory of that event, allow the target to recall the event with perfect clarity and exacting detail, change its memory to the details of the events, created a memory of some other event. You must speak to the target to describe how its memories are affected.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's yes, you're basically, you can help somebody recall a memory. You can reshape a memory. So there's a lot of really good things you can do there. But yeah, that's a spell that I personally like and haven't really had the opportunity to use or actually even take.
That has a lot of potential roleplay opportunities.
Exactly. That was
I mean,
my
just
thoughts exactly.
It would just be so cool for the story.
Right.
And I'd honestly probably give you another spell slot if you took that spell, just because I think it's so awesome and I wouldn't want you to suffer for it.
Well, it wouldn't even be so much a spell slot. It would be... yeah, just an extra spell in the book, but honestly, I believe wizards actually have availability to this. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it's Bard and Wizard.
So you could take this as proto.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very nice spell.
Oh, speaking of which, total tangent. Level yourselves up.
Oh, okay. Alrighty, we'll have to do that. I'll let Little Pooper know an arrow.
Excellent.
Let's see here. A remove curse or a greater restoration spell will restore the original memories. Scrying is not a bad thing. Teleportation circle. Dream is not a bad spell either. You can basically invade somebody else's dreams.
Again, really good role-playing spell.
Mm-hmm. Mask Cure Wounds we talked about. They have Planner Binding, so somebody can't teleport. Alright. 6th level, they have some really interesting spells.
Like Mass Suggestion.
Suggestion. Ooh boy. Eye Bite. That was one you used, I believe you used against us. Oh no, this is a different one than I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm not incredibly impressed with Eye Bite.
For the spell's duration, your eye becomes an inky void imbued with dread power. One creature of your choice within 60 feet of you that can see must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be affected by one of the following effects in your choice of the duration. You can use your action to target another creature, but can't target a creature again if it has succeeded on a saving throw against the casting of Eye Bite. Sleep, the target falls unconscious. It wakes if it takes any damage, or if any other creature uses action to shake the sleeper awake. Let's see here. What's the other thing? One second here. Let me get to some safety. All right. Panic. The target is frightened of you, and each of its turn, the frightened creature must take the dash action and move away from you by the save to shortest distance. If the target moves in a place that is at least 60 feet away from you or can no longer see you, this effect ends. The target is sickened. The target has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, and at the end of each of its turns, it can make another wisdom saving throw. If it succeeds, the effect ends. Not a terrible thing. Not a terrible spell.
But not impressive either.
Not for a 6th level spell.
No.
I will say there are much better spells that can be either upcasted or
just stand on their own.
Exactly. But alrighty. Again, they don't have a lot of 6th level spells to pick from.
They don't. But they have one that I just learned about that I really like.
Okay.
And apparently it's in the player's handbook. I've never seen this spell. I swear I've never even seen it in the book, but it's called Guards and Wards.
Okay.
Excuse me. You create a ward that protects up to 2,500 square feet of floor space. The warded area can be up to 20 feet tall and shaped as you desire.
Mm-hmm.
You can ward several stories of a stronghold by dividing the area among them, as long as you can walk into each contiguous area while you are casting the spell.
Oh.
So you can make a small keep to act as a defensive structure.
Mm-hmm.
When you cast this spell, you can specify individuals that are unaffected by any or all of the effects that you choose. You can also specify a password that, when spoken aloud, makes the speaker immune to these effects.
Okay.
Guards and wards creates the following effects within the warded area. So these are locations. Corridors. Fog fills all warded corridors, making them heavily obscured. In addition, at each intersection or branching passage offering a choice of direction, there's a 50% chance that a creature other than you will believe it is going the opposite direction from the one it chooses.
Oh.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs
As
ready
for the
you.
doors, all doors in the warded area are magically locked, as if sealed by an arcane lock spell. In addition, you can cover up to 10 doors with an illusion to make them appear as plain sections of wall.
All right. So, like, any door, you're saying doors and stuff in that hallway, doesn't show the doors. It just shows as
It
regular
doesn't show
wall.
the doors, but if they find a door, it's magically locked.
Interesting. And they have a 50% chance of going the opposite direction of what they think they are.
Yes.
You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
It reminds me of Labyrinth. Other than the fog.
Yes.
Like when she first
It's
goes
very
in,
much.
Yeah, she first goes into the labyrinth. Like there's no doors.
Man,
Oh yeah, there's one right behind you.
And
like
that's
this.
not even all of it.
Okay.
There's a lot more.
All right.
The stairs. Webs fill all stairs in the warded area from top to bottom as the web spell.
Ooh.
These strands regrow in 10 minutes if they are burned or torn away while guards and wards last. Other spell effects. You can place your choice of one of the following magical effects within the warded area of the stronghold. Place dancing lights in 4 corridors. You can designate a simple program that the lights repeat as long as guards and wards last. So you could have them flash like a strobe light. You could have them dim and brighten.
Huh.
Next one, place magic mouth in 2 locations.
Ooh.
Place stinking cloud in 2 locations. The vapors appear in the places you designate. They return within 10 minutes if dispersed by wind while guards and wards last.
Huh.
Next one, place a constant gust of wind in 1 corridor or room.
Interesting.
And lastly, place a suggestion in 1 location. You select an area up to a 5-foot square, and any creature that enters or passes through the area receives the suggestion mentally.
Ooh.
So you could put this in a 5-foot corridor where everyone would step over it.
Right. And do something like drop or run. Flee.
Flee is a good one.
You know, they just got to turn around and run. I'm assuming they're doing these checks against your spellcasting DC.
Yes.
So if you speak the word, and it could be any word that you choose, these effects don't affect you. How long does this all last?
Hey, Blast.
Yeah. Oh,
My
wow.
kids are called.
I just realized what time it is. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining me tonight. You have a wonderful evening, and I guess we'll have to wrap this up next week.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up next week, no problem.
All righty. Well, hey, you have a great evening, and I'll speak to you later this week then.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Peace. Oh, wow. I can't believe That's the first time in a while we've actually run out of time. That is absolutely crazy. So yeah, we'll have to wrap this up next week. Because we got, what, 7th, 8th, and 9th levels to go through. I mean, 7th level, Power Word Heal, Power Word Kill, Prismatic Wall, a True Polymorph. 8th level, Dominate Monster. Feeble Mind is always a great one. Mind Blank, Power Word Stun, and of course at 9th level you have Mass Polymorph, Power Word Heal, Power Word Kill, Prismatic Wall, Psychic Scream, and True Polymorph. So, very good spells. Alright, well, we had some fun playing Phasmo tonight. We had a couple of good ghosts. We got tricked by the Mimic again, which he gets us every time. Let's see, we had it on Rio, which we figured out with the candles. We had a Moroi that fooled us. We did get the Phantom off the bat, though. We even have the twins. That was good. We actually got all the evidence for that. We had a couple of perfect games. We had a couple that were really close. We got gypped on photos. But all in all, it was a pretty good evening. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the stream, go ahead and give it a like. Comment down below what you liked about it. Anything you want us to talk about with D&D, or what is your favorite spell for the Bard? That'd be a great thing to let me know. And of course, you can comment on any of my videos. And yeah, so if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please go ahead and do so now. And if you already have, thank you guys so much. I do really appreciate each and every one of you. But I need you to do 3 little things for me. I need you to tell your neighbors, tell your friends, and shout it from the rooftops. Like, comment, and subscribe to Blast 338. Have a great time, and we'll see you at the next video. Peace.